Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello, students. How are you? I hope you are okay. So you are welcome again to biology lesson, senior 6 class. Now we have new unity. It is unity number 9, which is nervous coordination. And then the lesson of today is the component of nervous system. So you have to be ready. Take your notebook where you can write some explanation. As usual, you are with the teacher Claude. So I hope you enjoy. So what is the objective of our lesson? Is at the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe the components of the nervous system. So make sure at the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe the components of the nervous system. When we talk about coordination, what do you understand about that? What's coordination? Our body has to be coordinated. All body activities, all we do, it has to be coordinated. And then it is coordinated by what we call nerve system. What is coordination? As I have said, is the process by which the body coordinate, control different activities. Every activities that is happen in our body, that's carried out by our body parts, it has to be controlled. For example, if you are moving, so the movement is going to be controlled. If you are eating, that activity has to be controlled. If you are thinking, it has to be coordinated. We shall see how all these activities are going to be coordinated. Transport of the blood, saturation of the blood has to be controlled. Digestion has to be controlled. Everything in our body has to be controlled, to be coordinated. So that process is what you call coordination. And then, all those activities, they are controlled by what we call nervous system. So nervous system has the following function. First of all is this sensory input. What's sensory input? Previously, you have seen that we have what you call sensory cells, sensor organs. Those sensor organs, they do detect the stimulus, either external stimulus or internal stimulus. So when we talk about stimulus, you understand what's that? We have seen this. So yeah, stimulus is any change that's occur in our body, any change. For example of stimulus, you can talk about temperature. If the temperature changes, either by increasing or decreasing, that one is going to be detected by sensory receptors that are found in our body. So the first role of the nervous system is just to do what? To detect the stimulus, to detect what's happening in the body and the outside of the body. So this is what you call the sensory input. Sensory receptors present in the skin and the organs respond to the external and internal stimulus by generating the impulse, the message. That message has to be transmitted to the brain and spinal cord. Why? Actually, when we talk about brain and spinal cord, those are the parts of the nervous system that help in the coordination of the different activities. Let's take an example. If the temperature increases in our body, what's going to happen? So that change is going to be detected, to be received by what you call thermoreceptors that are found in our skin. And then those thermoreceptor, they have to change that temperature into electrical impulses. That impulse has to be carried to the brain so that brain can coordinate what to do if the temperature increases. Remember, our temperature has to be kept constant at around 37. So the brain is the one that's going to command what to do if, for example, the temperature have increased or decreased. So that is what you call sensory input. The second function of the nervous system is integration. When the message have sent to the brain and spinal cord, so brain is going to interpret and prepare the appropriate response to the stimulus. If temperature has increased, for example, brain can give information to the effector. For example, let's say the skin hairs. If there is a high temperature, the skin hairs has to fret on the body. Why they fret on the body is to decrease the remember those hairs, they do trapped the warmed air from the atmosphere, from the environment. So if they are flattened on the body, so that one can decrease. That can decrease the trapping of this warmed air, and then the body can regulate the temperature. Integration, actually, the brain and spinal cord, they do cold sum up data received from all over the body and send out the nerve impulse, the response. And then another function of the nervous system is just to what you call motor output. After the brain and spinal cord have prepared the response to the effector, it has to send the impulse. And that impulse is going to be sent by using this motor neuron. So the response goes to the effector. Effector is like glands, muscles, where the problem is so that it can be corrected. So those are three main functions of the nerve system. Function number one is just to receive, to detect the stimulus, the change, either internally or externally. Number two is just to interpret and prepare appropriate response to the change that has been occurred in our body. Number three is just to send the message to the effector, so that they can coordinate what to do. If, for example, temperature decreases, what the body can do. That is doing by nervous system. Now, what are the components of the nervous system? So nervous system is divided into two main systems. So number one is what you call central nervous system. Central nervous system. Number two is what you call peripheral nervous system. Those are two main components of the nervous system. We have central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. What is central nervous system? Central nervous system consists of the brain and spinal cord. They are those parts that actually control and coordinate the body activities. It is brain and the spinal cord. Actually, brain, it acts as the computer of our body. It is not a computer, but remember the role of the computer. Computer helps us to put the data, to write anything, to store information. So brain also, it acts like that. It stores the information. For example, you are running, you are following this biology lesson. So you will catch something, And that information you have catched is going to be stored by the brain. So that after 1 year, 2 years, you will still remembering what you have learned. So that you have learned from nursery now to senior 6. You will continue learning. So what you have learned have been stored by this brain. So brain is a very important part of our body. If it is not there, our body activities cannot be coordinated. So brain and spinal cord are the central nervous system. It's where the integration, the interpretation of all messages from the receptor cells are going to be coordinated. So this is a central nervous system. They are located in the middle line of the body. So we shall describe this. Another one, it is this peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system consists of the nerves. The nerves, those are nerve cells, they are called also neurons, that carry information, the information to the central nervous system, or from the central nervous system to the effectors, to the other body parts. Peripheral nervous system is divided also into 2 types. So for this, this central nervous system, you can name, in a brief write this one. And this is peripheral nervous system. As we have seen, this central nervous system is divided into, it is brain and what? And spinal cord. So this peripheral nervous system also is divided into, what you call somatic nervous system. Somatic nervous system. And autonomic nervous system. So somatic nervous system, it is a system that involves in the controlling of what? Voluntary activities, such as muscle contraction, locomotion, all those voluntary activities. It is coordinated by this somatic system. We have also autonomic division, autonomic nervous system. This coordinates the involuntary activities. We shall come back on this. So as we have said, this consists of the nerves. Let's see this on the diagram. As you can see here, this is the brain, and this is the spinal cord. So this composes what you call central nervous system. If you go on this side, you see they are called nerves. And those nerves, they are found in every sensory parts of the body. In the sensory organs, they do contain these nerves. All these nerves, they are the one that will carry information from every part of the body to the central nervous system. So you see, those are nerves. Those ones, they form what you call peripheral nervous system. So, as I have said, nervous system is divided into central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. In the peripheral nervous system, it is also divided into 2. We have autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. So this autonomic nervous system involves the communication within internal organs and glands. For example, the heart is pumping the blood. The digestion is taking place in the digestive system. How does system, the circulatory system, digestive system, urinary system, how they are working, we don't know what's going on. But they are controlled involuntarily. They are even now they are doing. Blood is circulating in the body. So this autonomic nervous system is the one that is in charge of that. So somatic nervous system, it communicates within sensory organs and voluntary muscles. For example, if I decide to take this ruler in my hand, so this is a voluntary activity. And this voluntary activity is controlled by what? By somatic nervous system. Are you getting this? So now, if you go for this somatic nervous system, also is divided into sensory and motor because we have seen that the whole peripheral nervous system consists of the nerves. So it is divided into sensory nerves and motor nerves. Sensory nerves, they are the one that detect the stimulus and then send the impulse to the what? To the central nervous system, which is brain and what? And spinal cord. And the motor neuron, which is also called afferent, they do carry information from the central nervous system to the what? To the other parts of the body, to the effectors. So autonomic nervous system also is divided into two parts. We have this sympathetic nervous system, and then we have this parasympathetic division. All these two, they work antagonistically. For example, this can raises the blood pressure. Because when the blood pressure increases, this has to do what? To decrease it. This can cause the constriction of the iris, and this can cause the dilate of the iris. So they work antagonistically so that they can coordinate our body. So this is the summary of the component of the nervous system. Are you getting something? I hope. I will see if you have followed. So you can go. Now let's talk about the brain. The brain. The brain, as I have said, is one of the important parts that coordinate all the body activities. All activities we do is coordinated by the brain. The brain. Are you getting this? So now, the brain is under the end of the spinal cord. It is now enclosed in the skull. It is just on all these parts form what? Form the brain, the skull. And then it is divided into three main parts. So brain is divided into three main parts. What are those many parts of the brain? It is divided into, we have forebrain, we have midbrain, and also we have hindbrain. So those are three regions of the brain. So what's forebrain? Forebrain, it consists of the following parts. It consists of cerebrum, we shall see this, thalamus, hypothalamus, and the pituitary gland. So those are the parts that form the forebrain, which is a large part of the brain. Cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus, and the pituitary gland. Those are the parts that form the forebrain. Now, what is cerebrum? Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain, and then it is made of two hemispheres called, we have right and the left hemisphere. That divides the forebrain. So now, the left cerebral hemisphere controls those activities of the right side. Actually, the left cerebral hemisphere controls the right side activities. If we say to contract this one, it's controlled by the left hemisphere. And then the right cerebral hemisphere controls what? Controls the activities of the left side. So the right cerebral hemisphere controls those of the left side, which means the activities of the left side is going to be controlled by the right hemisphere. And then the one of the right activity is going to be controlled by the left cerebral hemisphere. So it is the opposite, actually. So now, what's the function of cerebral hemisphere? What's the function of cerebrum? Cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain. So cerebrum is the center of the judgment, memory, reasoning, and imagination. So judgment, to judge, to decide doing any activity. It is controlled by what? By the parts of the brain called cerebrum. Memory, to remember what has been happening to you when, for example, in your childhood. For example, what you have learned in the previous classes. So to still remembering that, there is this part of the brain called cerebellum that can store that. Also, it receives the impulse from the sensory organs, like sight, when you to see, to look. You are looking at me, so how is it that activity is coordinated? It is coordinated by the part of the brain called what? Cerebellum. Taste. When you eat, then you taste how the food is tasting. That part of the brain that controls that is what? Is cerebellum. So all involuntary activities like walking, eating, singing is also controlled by the parts of the brain on the forebrain called cerebellum. So we have thalamus. Thalamus is the center of perception and pain and pleasure. If you get pain, if you are not happy, if you are happy, that emotion are controlled by the parts of the brain called thalamus on the forebrain. And then we have hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is the major homeostatic organ. This is the part of the brain. It is the one that involved to coordinate the temperature, to control the temperature of the body. If the temperature rises, the hypothalamus is the one that's going to detect and then coordinate what to do. It monitors and regulates the water content. It happens in the brain, but on the part of the brain called hypothalamus. So it is the center of feeling, such as hunger. When you have hunger, when you feel thirsty, when the sex driver, satisfaction, sleep, speech, all these activities, they are controlled by the parts of the brain, which is the forebrain, but on its part called what? Hypothalamus. So if you feel hunger, if you feel you have a thirst, that is going to be controlled by the parts of the brain on the forebrain, on the parts called hypothalamus. So we have also pituitary gland. In unit number 10, we shall also see about the glands. So we shall see this pituitary gland as the master gland. Or it produces hormones such as like follicle stimulating hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, prolactin. So we shall come back on this when we shall see the unit number 10. But the pituitary gland, remember, is the part of the forebrain where hormones are produced. We have another part, which is the midbrain. It is at the mid because it's situated between the fore and the hindbrain. Are you getting this? So now, what's happened for the midbrain? It is the center of audio and visual information. Audio, to hear and to see. This activity is going to be controlled on the middle brain, the part which is the midbrain because it's situated between forebrain and the hindbrain. We have also hindbrain. The hindbrain it receives the impulse from the ear, the skin, and the semicircular canals. We have seen this one. It is composed by cerebellum and the medulla oblongata. Those parts, they are the one that can do what? Like cerebellum, it controls the movement, the balance of the body. The medulla oblongata, it is the one that controls like the breathing, when you breathe out, respiration, blood pressure is going to be coordinated by that one. So cerebellum, as it is this part behind here, it is the one that coordinates the muscular movement. If you are moving and then you are stable when you are moving. Because this cerebellum is there just to make you to be stable when you are moving. You're not falling down because cerebellum is there. It controls just body equilibrium. Nice. Medulla oblongata, as I have seen, is it controls respiration, digestion, heartbeat, breathing rate, and so on. So now, this is the structure of the brain. So as I have said, we have this. This is our brain. We have this thalamus, hypothalamus on this side. We have now pituitary gland on this side. We have cerebellum on this side. Here we have spinal cord. So we have this we shall also continue to discuss. This is cerebellum. This part, the yellow one here, all this part is cerebellum. This is cerebellum. And then here it is the hindbrain, and then here it is midbrain. Here on this part, midbrain. This is midbrain, this is hindbrain, and this is the cerebellum. I hope you can now see this is the full structure of our brain. Now we have also this, as I have said, this part called cerebellum is the one that controls the equilibrium of what? Of the body. So hypothalamus, thalamus, pituitary gland. So we have seen this, they do form what? The parts of this cerebellum. Are you getting this? And then meninges. What are the meninges? Those are the membrane that can protect what? That can protect the brain. They are found here, meninges. The brain has to be protected. Are you getting this? Now, I hope you have enjoyed. Yes. The spinal cord also involved in the coordination of the reflex action. Also can do the same function of the brain, but this is going to be coordinating also some reflex action that require quick response. Now we can have the homework. So you will be able now to describe the structure of the brain. So as I have said, so the structure of the brain, you will describe all the parts of the brain. All the parts of the brain. Remember, it is composed by 3 parts. So you will describe each part and its function. Then finally, you have to outline 3 functions of spinal cord. So spinal cord, as I have said, it has a similar function to the brain, but the spinal cord is arranged on the dorsal parts, on the vertebral column. So I hope you will enjoy it, and then continue to make the research. So I can say we shall meet by next time. So bye-bye.